Hey, this is DisturbingPuppet back again playing some more Mordheim. So yes, I've been playing lots of Mordheim, so I'm continuing to stream more Mordheim. Yeah, I really got kind of sucked into this game after kind of playing through. Something about that kind of gameplay, sort of like XCOM or a lot of other games where you're doing missions with guys, gaining experience, leveling them up, or even games where you're leveling up units of maybe some turn-based strategy games, something like that, like the old Panzer General games. I used to play a lot of those. Really enjoyed them, especially when you got to the point where you could level up units, make them more powerful, give them better equipment, that kind of thing. Same kind of thing applied to kind of guys, kind of the RPG element, better equipment, better skills, tougher, stronger, all that kind of stuff. Something about that really appeals to me. So XCOM as well, something I really can kind of dig into, get sucked into for a while. So we're going to continue with the same campaign I've been playing here with my mercenaries. It's been a little while. I haven't done a huge number of missions since the last stream, just a few. I'm still kind of leveling up a bunch of my lower level guys. Things have been going relatively okay lately. Nothing real major or crazy has happened, so hopefully everything will go fine. Pretty much kind of seems like as long as I don't run into any undead other warbands, I'm typically doing okay. So, yeah, hopefully we won't run into any today. They tend to give me much more trouble than anybody else. So you can see my success rate's still pretty much right around the same. Enemies at action, fairly close to what it was before. So, yeah, again, not an expert at this game. I just kind of did the tutorials, jumped into the game, been playing it, having a lot of fun. May not be optimizing things exactly the way I should, but right now I'm kind of focusing on leveling up some of my lower level guys. I've had some high level people die. Not a huge number, but a few, so we're still kind of working through that. Trying to get some more skills. So right now I'm training up my ogre to try to finish off his skill points. Training my higher level youngblood at the moment. I did take a little bit of time when my leader got injured a little while back and did some training for almost everybody for a little bit until I ran out of gold. Gold is still kind of the major issue in the game. Everything is so expensive. Higher level guys are expensive. Skill training gets pretty expensive. So I'm doing okay, but kind of holding on. Not really getting super far ahead. Pretty much as soon as I get money in, it just goes out into training up skills and things. So this is my happy little warband, the Unlucky Few, and that name kind of came from early on when things were going quite bad, and I changed the name to that. And then since then, things have been going much, much better. One of the things I did was I equipped some guys with some ranged weapons so that I could have ranged stuff and then switch to closer range things as they came in, so kind of softening them up a little bit. Some of my guys just getting higher level, things like that. Doing much more of sort of clumping together in groups, not really spreading out, also made a big difference. If you really have any guys isolated in this game, they will get kind of jumped and destroyed. So that's kind of one of the tactics that I saw listed in some of the commentary on the community site for the game. Especially against the AI, that seems to be the case. Maybe against another person, or maybe the actual board game, it would have been a bit more people kind of splitting up and going after different objectives. But it seems like in this, as soon as the AI spots you, it's just going to swarm wherever that position was. And it could be because I'm using a lot of heavy armor, but it seems like I'm always barely making any movement out into the map, and then the AI is all over me. And some of the warbands are pretty fast, or maybe don't use as much heavy armor, and that's probably why. So I'm not quite sure exactly. But most likely it's just because my guys are a little slow from the heavy armor. So I'll take a quick look here. You can see this is my leader who's maxed out. Kind of use the pistols maybe once or twice and then kind of go into my melee setup, which is mainly designed around parrying and doing counterattacks. He's fairly tough, so he's one of my best combatants, close range, good at tying up opponents. Right now I'm kind of working on a magic user who I picked up at level 3 for like 1,000 gold or 1,100 gold, something like that. I do have some better equipment I could give him, but I'm kind of waiting till he gets higher level and maybe a little bit tougher before I give him anything that I might lose. I do have some skill points with him and spell points I can use, but we're going to keep using him because I don't really have a good replacement. My other young blood is training and my ogre's training, so I can't really swap him out really easy right now. My lower level Youngblood we're kind of including in this mission because I'm still trying to level him up as much as possible. My other Youngblood that's training is now level 9. So he does have a decent bow, kind of a backup sword. My champions here, my upper level guy is now getting pretty close to max level. Got up to level 9 after the last mission. He's kind of focused on just beating up things in close combat. He's got pretty high crit chance, so his weapon has, I think, increased crit damage on there. My other guy is more of a parrying specialist, and I may eventually switch him over to a halberd or something. So that's why I haven't given him shield specialist. But he does have some kind of parrying and counterattack skills and stuff with a swift counter. So maybe we'll try going double weapons with him, or halberd. We'll kind of see as he gets a little tougher. I don't really want to take a shield away from him yet. He's not quite tough enough for that. My level 10 rifleman here, nothing's really changed with him. Level 7 archer, I just picked up this longbow, which has a 30% chance of dropping someone out of their status when they're hit with it, which is kind of cool. So if you go into, stance, not status. If you go into like a dodge stance or a parry stance, I hit you with this, you might drop out of it and no longer do anything. Taking one level 10 warrior with an axe. And then my level 7 and 8 guys here that I'm trying to level up, I also do have a backup level 10 I'm not using, and a level 4. I don't quite have that much good equipment for him, so he's kind of rocking, I think it's blue level light armor with him, so he's a little bit faster, but he's still pretty weak. At this point, any guy I'm running into is pretty much going to take out anyone with 100 health or less pretty much in one turn. So anyone who's right around 100 or a little bit less, even a little bit higher, is pretty much one turn dead. So I have to keep them way in the back. Like him, I haven't even fought with him in a while when I've taken him. He just kind of sits back and guards stuff. But that's kind of where we're at. So in general, this game is pretty much based on the Games Workshop board game, which I never did play before. I played Necromunda, I played the 2nd edition Warhammer 40k, I had some of the other games and never actually got around to playing them. But Mordheim we never really got into, so I'm not sure how faithful of an adaptation it is. But essentially you have this city Mordheim that was hit by a comet of basically pure chaos essence, which broke up into lots of pieces of wordstone, which is sort of crystallized chaos or magical essence, which is worth a lot. So you essentially have a sponsor who you have to provide wordstone to at certain times. Right now I don't have a shipment request. You can kind of see up here, no shipment requested. Occasionally you'll get a request for a certain amount of wordstone from your sponsor. Then you want to make that, you get some stuff for it. If you have extra, you can sell it to different factions and get money for it, and that's really the main way of making gold in this game. You don't really get much from doing missions, you don't get much gold for selling items. It's selling wordstone that's going to get you gold. So the city's kind of mutated and abandoned, and then there's this wordstone all over the place, but this town becomes a big attraction to the Skaven who want the wordstone, chaos worshippers, and all kinds of horrible, nasty things. But there's other groups like Mercenaries, Sisters of Sigmar, Witch Hunters, things like that that are also trying to cleanse the ruins of any taint. So what we have is story missions, but then also just general missions. So this is sort of the mission selection screen. So each one of these icons represents a different mission. I do have a story mission, but these are really, really long, so I haven't actually streamed any of these, just kind of the other secondary ones. So there's different kinds of missions, there's different difficulty levels. So for this, for example, it says hard. So that's sort of my rating compared to the enemy of that mission's rating. So in this case, this would be hard. This is brutal. That's 2,000 recommended. So story missions don't have that. And hard. So there's normal, hard, brutal, and deadly, I think was the highest one. So you can spend some gold to get some additional locations for things. Sort of depends on the missions. There's some secondary mission objectives. So in this it says crush their will. This is marked for death. Marked for death. So there's different secondary objectives. Some of them are collecting wordstones. Some of them are killing specific enemies. I think the marked for death is there's certain people on the opposing team you have to take out and then take an item from them that kind of is their identifying equipment that they have. Then you've got a little crystal symbol, and then it'll say poor, good, great, average, that kind of stuff, which is how much wordstone there is, and then that's a chest, and then same kind of thing. And that's for other items and stuff that might be there. Then there's different setups. So in this, both warbands are scattered randomly around the area. I did one of these once, and my opponents were scattered randomly right on top of me, and 4 or 5 of them got to go first, and I think 1 or 2 of my guys were killed before I even had a chance to do anything, so I would avoid those. Both warbands are into 3 strike teams and disperse. I don't really like splitting up, but it does kind of force you to sometimes, and then what you want to do is try to get your guys together as quickly as possible. And 1 warband's in 3 strike teams, while the others scattered randomly around the area. So I don't really like any of these options, so I am going to pay for scouts just to see. And that's not good. That's brutal. I could probably do a hard. I did a hard last time and turned out just fine. But a brutal is probably not something I want to do with these lower level guys. So really I have, for hard, just these 2 options here of 1's in 3 strike teams and the other's scattered random, or both scattered randomly. So I kind of would have to go for this one, I think. So before we do that, I just want to check the stream, make sure everything's working. Everything looks fine. So I do get kind of nervous going into any sort of non-equal mission. So if it's a normal, I'm typically going to be fairly confident, unless it's undead, which they seem kind of overpowered to me when I fought against them. This is hard, so the enemy rating is going to be higher than mine. I'm taking lower level guys, so it's a little bit dangerous. I do have my leader in there to kind of hold things together, so hopefully this will be okay. I hope. We'll kind of go with the guys we had set up before. It is random which groups
of enemy warriors have been discovered across the area, scattered in flight. Before they can regroup, you break your warband into 3 patrols to intercept and engage your disorganized rivals.
Yeah, so when you go into this, you don't know if you're going to be which group. It'll say like 1 is scattered randomly, the other breaks up into groups. You don't know which one you're going to be. So it's sort of random what's going to happen. If both of them are around your wagon, groups, but if one's random and the others are groups, you don't know which one you're going to be. Also, don't go in knowing which enemy you're going to fight. I think this is undead based on the names, which is really bad. The rating is also quite a bit higher than mine. I think mine is 2,700 and theirs is 2,900. So this could be pretty bad. So I've got deployment areas. This is my wagon here. This crystal symbol would be where there's some wardstone, and this heart-looking thing, which is, I guess, supposed to be a sack with a knife in it, is basically where chests or other items are. So I've got a deployment of up to 4 guys down here, 3 up here. Yeah, we are facing undead, so this is about worst-case scenario. So they're all going to be probably scattered right around all these buildings here in the middle. And then often the other deployment is out here on the right. Okay, it's actually here on this area. Oh, I do not like this. So what I want to do is get everybody as clumped together as quickly as possible. So anyone I put out here, I'm probably going to try to run down this direction. I think this is actually a height difference, so I'll have to kind of climb down and jump down, and then get through the buildings to come this way. These guys maybe will move out here or out here, and these guys up here are really in the worst situation. If I move them down, if they get spotted anywhere along here, they're going to get jumped. So I may have to move these guys up to kind of link up with these guys coming down. And I might want to put my toughest people here. And not really a good setup at all. Not happy about it. So I think we'll put my magic user out here in this group. Think about who I can put where. Put him in this other group that's up and the upper left part of the map. My rifleman will come out here with my magic user, and we'll add a warrior in there as well. I do not like this. Got a lot of ranged guys, which really doesn't do me a lot of good in this particular situation. Throw him there is fine. I'm going to keep my leader down here. Probably going to have a tough fight down in this area. Think of who do I have left. Put him up there. So this is my best champion, who's level 9. I think we'll put him up here to sort of toughen this group up. And either this guy, Otwin, or my level 10 warrior I should probably add to this group. It kind of depends if these guys get spotted or not. If they get spotted, they could really get swarmed, and I really need my toughest people. But if they can kind of slip down without getting into too big of a fight, they should be okay. So we'll put him there, level 8, and then we'll throw the level 10 up into that group. So then at the top you can kind of see the initiative order there. I often seem like I almost always have at least 3 or 4 enemies going before any of my guys get to go. But that's probably because I'm prioritizing things like toughness and stuff over being able to go a little quicker in the turn order. So you can see the optional objective there is put the following warriors out of action and claim their belongings. So if I can grab those two, we kind of have, everyone has sort of a little icon on them with different names depending on the faction that kind of identifies who it was. It's almost like dog tags, essentially. But if I can grab those two, then I'll get some extra XP for everybody. So that would be something I really would like to do. Often it seems like the enemy knows who's been marked and will keep them away from you. I'm not sure if the enemy's supposed to be aware of it or if it's random. So they have the green bar and then the cross showing health. The blue dots are for movement or certain actions like going into a dodge stance or parry stance. Red is kind of attacks. So this is my magic user. He's not very tough at all. So typically I want to keep him at range, and he can sort of blind people or shoot lightning at people. Because of the setting of the game with the way the camera is locked behind the person you're using, it's a little hard to figure out how to get places sometimes. But one thing you can do is if you move, it'll leave sort of these little glowing blue dots. So as each point of movement you use, it'll show where you were. And if you look around someplace and don't spot an enemy, you can actually backtrack and get your points back. So if I go back here, I've got all my points back for movement. So you can kind of look around a little bit, but if you spot enemies or do any actions, then it kind of uses them up. I may be going into way too much detail for people who are familiar with the game. But I'm kind of assuming people watching this may not know too much about the game. So I'm going to kind of just get up to the edge here and take a look. We are in a height difference here, so we're going to have to get down somehow. You can kind of see the little arrows down. Those are places where you can jump, and there's also ones that will mark where you can climb up from places. The lower it is, the less potential damage you might have if you fail kind of an agility roll for jumping down. So I can kind of see over there, there's sort of some stairs that go down a little bit, so I may head that direction. Where are we on the map? All the way down here. Or I can just jump down from here where I'm at. Sometimes it's hard to see people on the map when you're in camera mode behind your guy, and if you spot someone, or even if you just spot them temporarily, their position will show up on the map here. So it will switch back and forth quite a bit. So that's not a great chance. So 68% chance that I won't get hurt. So I could just go ahead and jump down to be faster. Maybe that's what I'll have to go ahead and do. Potential fall damage is 6 to 16, which is not great, but it's not terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and go for it. He actually made it. I just want to get reconnected with that other group as quickly as possible, but I have to figure out how to get through all the buildings. And I've kind of run out of movement here. And unfortunately, we'll have to put him in ambush stance. You can't kind of prep a spell to use on your opponent's turn, unfortunately. So in here, these guys are in a bit more danger. So we need to try to creep them down here. Hopefully without spotting any enemies. We'll try to maybe grab the scavenge position on the way. To see what's out here. We might be at increased height as well. I'm not 100% sure. There are also traps and things around. So like this board with the Skaven writing on it, this little fleshy, gooey mass ahead of me, could be traps. You can do a perception check, which will highlight any traps or things you can interact with, or you can just kind of avoid them. I've got somebody right here. Yeah, we've got undead. So that's a ghoul down there. Just want to see. I've actually got a couple. I could only see one. So we may not be going down there. We might just be shooting from up here for a bit. Okay, now I can see them, where both of them are. Go for the weaker one. He's got a skill that gives him a free reload, or basically reloads cost one less. So it's a decent amount of damage, but that's all he can do. So you can kind of see actually here they scavenge as a dead person with an axe in their back. Oh, in the upper left hand there's a couple bars. The blue is my leadership, so 215, and then there's a line with 86. Each of you guys are worth a certain amount of leadership points, and if they die it'll drop, and when you reach that line is when you start having to make leadership checks, and if you fail it you're out. So you're done with the mission. So I have quite a bit more leadership than my opponent, actually. Hopefully that won't be necessary for me to take a bunch of hits. He's got pretty good agility, so he's not too likely to fail. So you can kind of see from here you can actually try to climb up that wall. Just going to move out to take a peek down here. I'm not seeing anything. So I put him in Overwatch, so he'll take a shot at anything if he sees anything move into his line of sight. So I think this group we're going to have to try to move up down this alleyway, stay out of sight, so we can maybe try to link up with them. But, well, I don't know. If they're going to stay up here and shoot at stuff, maybe it won't be necessary. So we'll take a look around and see what we can see. Trying to figure out how to get through the buildings. See if there's a way I can get on the second floor. Maybe I'll be able to see something. That's a scavenge location there, so yeah, sure, we'll check it out. There's purple light armor there, that's cool. The purple gear, I think, is the highest level. And yeah, you can see through these windows and stuff to take shots. So yeah, we're not seeing anything here. I'll just put him in Overwatch in the window. If the enemy sees him, they might try to run in the building, get up the stairs, go after the archers. Going after the enemy archers is kind of a common thing. Melee-focused guys are going to try to do that. It's kind of hard to build somebody for both melee and close combat. The Youngbloods are probably the closest I can get to that. They're really good at dodging. If you build them up for agility, have good skills with ranged weapons. And then some of the heavy weapons you can't parry with, you can only dodge with them, so I've kind of equipped them with some of the heavy weapons too. Where do we want to go with you? Take a look a little bit further up. Yeah, see, from like here, there's no way through, but there is a window here. Let's see anything though. Sometimes it can be really hard to figure out where on the map stuff is because everything's multi-level. So for example, this, I was pretty much right in that position, but didn't see anything on this floor, but it could be any other floor. It looked like the stairs were outside around the front. So the only way to get there is to head out front. See if I can see anything from here. Yep, we got somebody. Don't see him though. Oh, maybe that's him up in the window, up on the 3rd floor there. Something's moving up there. Yeah, since I don't really have to go this way to link up with the others, what I may do is sort of just backtrack. Yeah, even though I spotted him, I still have movement points. So what I may do just for now is we'll just set up an Overwatch here. Anyone comes around the corner, we get to shoot them. I'm being really cautious in this because I know that the enemy is both higher level and undead, and the undead are pretty vicious, actually, especially their leaders. It's really difficult to deal with them. Now, this guy is almost definitely going to fail jumping down. It does have a 43% chance. And he's going to take a good hit. Ambush stance just means anyone who comes into that range will get charged and attacked. A couple warriors up here who aren't really going to do me a lot of good if I stay up at this elevated position. So there might be a way up down there. Who have we seen? We've got one. So question mark just means that I saw him there. I don't know where he is since because I've moved around. Just the 2 in the back. I haven't seen anything over here. Okay. Just gonna take a look and see. Yeah, I can't climb up there, but I can jump down if I'm up there. Yeah, so from here I'm not seeing anything. Just set him up down on the edge here. Kind of keeping an eye different directions, see if we spot anything, and if I do, I can always fall back towards my friends, or we might want to go around and head towards that stuff that's over down this way. Don't want to spread out my guys too much. So I'm actually going to move him down to sort of support my leader just in case. Unfortunately, Leopold's a little slow.
A new round has started.
Having him up there with that group may not have been the best choice. Might be a way he's going to try to climb up here. Yep. So climbing up, if you fail, you don't actually make it up and you actually take some damage. So climbing up is much more of a hassle than just jumping down from somewhere. If you fail the roll, jumping down, you still get down, you just take a little bit of damage. Trying to climb up someplace, you can fail over and over and over again and keep getting hurt each time, which is a little bit irritating. So this group, I think, will just slip through this building if we can. Sort of a gatehouse kind of thing. Still don't see anything. May just try to go for speed here. I don't see anything down here. We'll just run towards our friends as fast as we can. Yeah, still see nothing. Right? Right? Yeah. Okay, he just stayed in the corner. Okay, whatever. Now, if I can lure some people up here and then finish them off with my warriors, that would be fine. I think we'll keep filling him with holes. So for him, the skill basically reduces the reload cost by 1. So for him, the first one is free, second one is 1, next one is 2, next one is 3. So that works out pretty well. So nice hit. And since I'm kind of standing here, I'm kind of blocking if this is a way up from down below. If someone is in that position, you can't go up or down. So if they can climb up here, I'm sort of blocking that one. And again, we're just going to go for speed here. Since we didn't spot anything with the other guy, we shouldn't spot anything now. Try to get in a position where I can see a little bit. I may leave him here. He's pretty weak, but okay with a bow. So as long as nobody gets in the building, comes up after him, he should be okay. Just kind of using him as eyes. out this direction. It's kind of hard to tell how clear of a view he has, though, looking through the little window. And see, I can't really twist the camera around to see that well, kind of from his perspective. Oh, saw the leader. Popped up for just a second. So the leaders of the undeads are vampires, who are incredibly good at combat and cause terror. So you have to make leadership checks to even be near them or fight them. And if you fail, you have a major reduction to your chance to hit them and all that kind of stuff. So he's way up there. So probably because they saw me up here, a lot of his guys are going to be swarming this direction. So we might be safe to head out. So I'll take a peek anyway. I think the guy's still up there. Yeah, now I've actually got a couple down here that I can sort of see. See the guy up in the 3rd floor window. It's supposed to be somebody else too. I'm not sure exactly where they are. So this is a magic user, which is not good. The undead magic users are also way more dangerous than a lot of the other magic users, it seems. So I'm going to go on Overwatch here, just to kind of keep an eye this direction, and maybe we can divert some people this way. Pistols are kind of short range, so they're not really going to take a shot at anybody until they move up pretty close, though. Thought about giving him something better, but I don't really have too many other purple, like, ranged weapons I can use. Okay, your job is to try to keep up with everyone else who's way faster than you. So I've got people coming. I'm going to go ahead and kind of peek around this way, take a look. Don't see anything. Just taking a look at what's around. So that's that wardstone there. It's just worth 1. That's kind of useless. Not really worth going for. From here, see anything else? No, actually. Yeah, so I've got 2 there, 3, 4, 5. So there's at least 4 other guys running around somewhere that I haven't spotted yet. I'm going to leave him out here right now just for bait. I've got other people moving up that might link up with him for ranged support. So that was me kind of creeping into his ambush range, and he ambushed me but didn't get a hit off on me. Because of my heavy armor and missing a leg with this guy, his movement range and charge range and stuff are pretty low. So it's kind of hard for him to get a charge off on an enemy. I could pick some skills that would help with that. I have picked one that increased his ability to move in armor, so he's a little faster than he used to be. He used to be just insanely slow. So if you have those red skull attack points and you get hit, you can counterattack just like he did. So he used them up. I'm going to kill this guy here without too much trouble. And creep up a bit, loot his corpse. If you want stuff off people, you have to check them right away. What kind of happens, so this is sort of like the dog tags equivalent sort of thing everyone will have with a name, and then it's either memento or figurine or chaos symbol, or it depends on the faction. If they've got wordstone, it'll stay there. These dog tag kind of things will stay there, but any other weapons they have, weapons, armor, that kind of stuff will disappear. If you don't grab it the turn you take them down. So that first turn you can get some good equipment off people if they're well equipped. But after that, you're stuck. And all you can grab is the wordstone that might have had on them. And when you pick up wordstone, there's a chance something bad happens. So let's see, that's just showing my skill results. And warp effect, minus 10% melee resistance for 2 turns. So that's kind of crappy. I'm going to kind of move up. See if I can block this position. And I'm still going to go into Web of Steel, which lets me parry 2 attacks. They shouldn't be able to get up here unless there's another position that they can climb from further down and they want to go run for it. So I'm trying to maximize the amount of ranged attacks I can get off on them. Where the heck are you at? Oh, okay, you're there. So let's move him up to support my leader. He'll be ambushing around the corner. And poor slow Leopold here. I'll just move him up to kind of protect. He's slow, but I did give him a skill that increases his ambush range, so he does have a further ambush range than you would normally have for his movement. So just set him up in an ambush stance here. Fortunately, a lot of my good melee fighters are up there, which is not really where I need them to be. If I come down from there and try to fight my way towards my friends, then yeah, I might need them. But if I can take pot shots from range safely, I'll do that. So there's some stuff close by. See if we can see where anything is. I can see the scavenge on this level. But I'm not going to go for that with him. He's kind of weak. I don't want him to get stuck, caught out in the open. There are the 2 wordstones, but they're just 1 each. You can tell after a while the little kind of bits are 1, and bigger pieces are 5, and then the big chunks are worth 15. So I'm just going to move him up to take a look around and see if we see anything. No view of anybody from here. Nothing else I can really do. He's going to stand in the corner and let me shoot him. I'll keep shooting him. A little worried about what he's going to do with his vampire leader. I'd actually like him to come this way, because I've kind of got it blocked where he can come up at me and I can take shots at him. Could take a while to whittle him down, but still. Actually, I want to see if I can spot anybody. If you have one of your targets, like it says Anton, Tyrannul, and Virgilius, mementos, usually it'll show a little skull icon on their figure. So actually the people that I need to take the mementos from I haven't even spotted yet. So they could be out here somewhere, they could be way up here. probably somewhere in this area in the back, I would guess. Or could be right around the enemy cart guarding it. So I'm actually going to move him up on the ground level, just to see if we can get an angle on anything from here. I'll hang out here for now. Next turn we'll move up a little bit. Still has no targets. Just keep him on Overwatch. Keep looking that direction. What's the leader doing? Not showing me. Running around somewhere. So he goes out here. Yeah, just kind of running around. Somewhere inside the building where I can kind of see him sometimes through a window, probably. I can't even see these two anymore. We've moved around inside the building somewhere. Creep out a bit. Don't see anything in the street. Don't really want to move up too close here. Just getting kind of some sight in through the door. Oh, there's somebody. Shooting him in the back like a hero. Don't think I have enough to switch to melee weapons yet. Yeah. So I'm just going to move back as much as I can. Lure him out towards us, maybe this way. So this guy will probably send towards the chest there to check it out. Looks like it's safe. So there's supposed to be something around, must be in there. Do I really want to do that, or do I want to stay on the ground? Yeah, we can take a look, I think. Should be okay. Don't have any ranged weapons with these guys, and they're not really kind of geared up for that yet. I'm just going to keep him blocking this position. It's not very much of an ambush range here, but I'll try to set up a little bit of a trap. Yeah, it's still not close enough. If I get a little bit further up, then I could cover that door, or maybe charge in from the side. but I don't have the movement to get there, so I'm just going to sort of hang back a little bit. Take a look for any other jumping points. I don't see anything. Not until you get way down there. I'll just kind of hang out. As long as I've got targets here, I'll stay up here and keep shooting. But if the targets disappear or a lot of people come over this way, then we'll shift over. There's an ambush. Unfortunately, I'm wide open to counterattacks if you ambush somebody. If you have offense points, you can counterattack, but you can't parry or do anything else when you ambush. Just hope they don't hit you. There's a lot of damage. Two-handed weapons will do a lot more damage than one-handed.
A new round has started.
But they're slower, you get less attacks usually. But we can gang up on him now, take him out. He's trying to climb up somewhere further down, it looks like. And Julian's just going to stand there. Let me shoot at him. From here I've got nothing. I'll probably have to shift further down. There's things I could go after back here, but most likely there's 3 or 4 enemies back there. Not really something I want to go for. I'll try to link up with everybody else before we would try to move in. Looking, I thought I saw something through there, but I guess not. Keep heading down here a little bit. I definitely don't have the range to do anything with this. Let's see, I think that's the enemy cart in there. Yeah, that I can see in there. So there's nobody right around it, but they could be back a little bit further. I'm actually going to move back a little bit. That way my rifleman can move up into that position and take shots from there. If you're too close to one of your own people, you can't actually do anything with them. So I can actually see both of these guys from here. I'll let my warriors deal with the guy who came up. We'll just keep shooting this guy. Although I do have a chance of breaking his ambush stance, so maybe I should take one shot at him. Don't think that worked. So my rifleman moved around that. So that was a minus 25% poison resistance for 3 turns. It shouldn't be too catastrophic or anything. Move him up. I might be able to get a shot from here. So he's pretty good at long range. There we go. Don't have enough to reload or anything, so I'm actually just going to move back. Still have no visibility of anything from here. Yeah, I really want to keep eyes towards that cart, so I'm going to leave him here for now. He's not going to do much good anywhere else anyway. Once I've got my other allies past this position, then I'll probably pull him out and move him down. Enemy leader, somewhere. So I could reload and take shots, but I'm much better in close combat, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to my melee weapons, and then we'll beat the crap out of this guy. I've got some special attacks, but I'm just doing basic regular attacks and get more damage in that way. Maybe take him out this turn if I'm lucky. Probably not. Web of Steel I can parry with him up to 3 times because I've leveled up the skill, and each time I parry I get a free counterattack with my leader. It's kind of his main kind of passive skill that he starts with. Okay, we'll take everything, I guess. Yeah, probably do the same thing. We'll just kind of lure his ambush towards us here if we can. Got nailed that time though. So disease carrier, minus 3% critical resistance. Just wail on him. I don't have enough points left to go into Web of Steel. I'll just be able to parry once. Web of Steel with him will let me parry twice. You can upgrade it and then be able to parry 3 times. Don't see anything. There we go. I was worried I might have to try to climb up to find the scavenge location. No, that's not too bad. I'll definitely take that. Actually finding some decent equipment here. We need to get him down back in position to fight here, maybe? Someone else is climbing up. Yeah, just climbing up into that position doesn't trigger ambush. Casting spells or shooting doesn't trigger ambush. He's got to actually move to trigger my guy's ambush there. Just hammering my archer there. Yes, when you cast spells, bad things can happen. That was him taking some damage for casting a spell. Certain percentage with each spell that something goes wrong. Just want to take a look and see if I can spot any of the guys that I need to take out for my bounty. Doesn't look like I've seen any of them, actually. That's unfortunate. These undead magic users are really problematic. Try to take this guy out as quick as I can. Parry failed. That almost never happens.
A new round has started.
So you had to take a leadership check there. It was all alone. If you're outnumbered by enemies, you have to take a leadership check. And if you fail it, you'll try to leave combat, which lets your opponents get some free shots in on you. Still haven't seen anything through the buildings here. So I guess we'll just try to creep up and get off some shots and spells and things to help out here. If I can get close enough to actually use anything. There we go. From here I can use my lightning ability. Okay, that was nice. And no negative effects, so we can take him out. Down. And no negative effects. Cool. So it'll do kind of the spell first, and then if anything bad happens, it'll trigger after that. So you can be afflicted with stupidity for a couple turns. You can't do anything except fight in combat without making a leadership roll first, or you can not cast spells for a couple turns, or you can take damage, or you can basically explode. That was a few times I've seen people take 9,999 damage when that happens. So Harold here got pretty badly hammered. Don't have a very good chance to hit him. Just trying to go through my stuff here to see if there's any negatives on me. It doesn't look like there's any negative effects on me. So partially it's because he's in combat, even though it's a fairly clear shot here. I don't know why he just keeps standing there in the corner letting me shoot him. So I'm going to go ahead and take a ranged shot, or aimed shot here to do a little bit more damage to this guy. Kind of splitting up my attacks here, but that magic user is way more dangerous than anything else right now. At least for this particular little group. So it's a perception check. Let him spot anything nearby of interest. Ward stones and that kind of stuff will get highlighted even through walls or enemies or traps. And even as you move, it'll highlight stuff. So you just can do it whenever you want and then move around. Still not seeing anything, but I'm sort of in a supporting position here for right now, so we'll leave him here for this turn. Maybe next turn we'll pull him out of that position, move him further down. I'm actually doing okay, even though the enemy's a bit higher level than me. Kind of just isolated a few of his guys and fought them, so I'm doing okay. But you can take a lot of damage really quickly. You have to be careful. Now, looky here. I can't actually use the short bow. None of my guys can use it, so I'm going to take the hammer. So I could either kind of move down around in the open, I could take a little peek through here. I think I'm going to just take a little look and see if I see anything. I want to have enough to keep my web of steel active, so if somebody comes out where I didn't see them and charge into me, I'll still be able to parry some attacks. There's still quite a few guys I haven't spotted yet, or don't know where they are. Most likely they're defending the cart. Kind of shifting everybody a little further down here. Got space in my backpack, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the bow. Even though I can't use it, I can still sell it. Ideally, I can kill this guy with him, and then we can double up on that magic user. That's the hope, anyway. Check his corpse here quick. And nothing particularly interesting. So you can kind of see the circle around my guy and the opponent. So if you want to be in combat, you have to be in the opponent's circle. But if you're in one of your own guys' circles, you can't actually do anything. You have no actions. And there, I was trying to move in with the 4 so I could be in Web of Steel, but not quite enough. So I'll just be able to parry once with him. But having 2 guys on him means he's going to have to make a check to see if he fails leadership or not. If he fails and can't run away, like the position he's in, then he basically just has a turnover, very few points he can do anything with. Ulrich here is a little beat up. Keep him back a little bit. And try to get everybody together there. Yeah, there he passed the test. I have no idea what Call of Van Hell does. Cinch's Lash, I think, was a negative effect.
A new round has started.
He's still just down there facing the corner. That sounded like movement. Hoping the leader isn't up here now. No? Okay, it's just down there. Must have been moving up and down or jumping up and down. If he gets up there, those guys are in big trouble. I think if I can kind of get everybody together and then we'll move up as a group, maybe deal with the leader in the back here. I think we're just going to focus on the magic user up here and try to kill him as quick as possible. So that when the numbers are yellow like that is a crit. So that was a critical hit. And can't really do much with him. Not enough points left. So now we need to pull him out of here. It's not really doing any good. That's not good either. That's sort of the second in command kind of vampires. Not leader, but hero. Very difficult to deal with. Charging in against me. Me failing a fear test. I think we need to head over that way. They're going to need some help, I think. If more people get up that incline towards them, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Kind of playing it safe with my leader. Instead of having him in ambush stance, since he's taken a little bit of damage so far, put him in parry. Don't think they're going to be able to see us yet. Kind of creeping up on the side of the building. Take this guy out quickly so we're free to deal with that vampire. Not quite enough damage. Hopefully Leopold can finish him off. Actually, just going to take a quick look. So there's nobody here. I was kind of worried about someone being in an ambush right inside the door, getting charged that way. But yeah, looks like nobody's here. So let's check their cart, see if there's anything I can take for it. If I have room, yeah, I can take something. Passed its check again. More horrible spells. Some failures, which is nice. That's a big X. I don't like that. Ulrich here's a little beat up too. We'll move him up, but keep him in at least enough to parry. Need you to kill him, Leopold. There we go. Room, yeah, I got room. Let's see if I can actually loot him. More good stuff. Increased crit damage. Cool. Power of Defiance. That's cool. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Ooh. I wanted to kind of move out and then
a new round has started.
Get in a web of steel there. I wasn't expecting to get ambushed and critted. They're coming for me. That's one of the guys I need the memento from. Alright, let's see what we can do. Blinding light, I can probably... It's kind of hard to tell. I just want to hit the enemies without affecting my own guys, but it's really difficult to tell if I'm doing that or not. It looks like I can get the further guy, but not the other one. So maybe I'm better off just doing lightning bolts. Word light, so there's a negative effect. What does word light do? Minus 50% range resistance. Yeah, so I'm lit up like a Christmas tree so everybody can see me. Unfortunately, you don't get any experience just for damaging people. You have to actually kill people to get any experience. I don't have a very good shot here because I've got some guys in the way. Go ahead and try for it. I could try to move around and get a better position, but then I'd be opening up this climbing position, which I really don't want. And failing 267%, yes, RNG. Yeah, and this guy's level 10 as well, so I don't really want to use him to kill somebody. Just keep softening people up with the higher level guys. Try to go for the kills at the lower level. Like it. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't matter, everyone else beat him up really bad. He gets the kill experience for it. So I could take a couple 57%, or maybe one aim shot at 77 here. We'll go for the 257s. Which I can aim on this one. Come on, Leopold, don't die. Taking a massive beating. If I have to kill this guy with my leader, I will. Right at the point where he's going to start having to make leadership checks. And I've got people in danger. So if I can make him fail a check, it'll be over. His leader's still around, so it's not too likely he's going to fail, but it is possible. What's his health at? 19. Don't really want to pick that up with him. It's one of the ones I need. I'll have to move away. Let somebody else grab that. Oh, enemy route failure, just like that. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought for sure with his leader still out there, he'd pass. Oh, okay, so I can relax now a little bit. So over on the left, we've got rewards. So we've got some random wordstone. I only picked up one thing, which is sort of the total amount of gold card and the wordstone gathered. Mostly I found some items. And then Battlegrounds Victory. So for afterwards, kind of searching around, we found some stuff. So we're going to get 5 random items, 3 shards, and 4 little bits of wordstone. So it kind of shows you who got the MVP. They get a little bit more experience. Yeah, it turned out okay.
Vanquishing the foe upon the field of battle is a great feeling. It is even better when you're getting paid for it.
I thought for sure that would be a lot more gory and bloody on my part. Just the amount of damage the undead can dish out is pretty crazy. Yeah, so that's something I actually learned during a stream, is if you get a crit against you, you're out for a couple days. So you have to spend a few days recovering. Not too big of a deal, no real major problems or anything. If you go down during a battle, then there's a roll on an injury table, which could result in death or any other horrible kinds of things happening. Just being out for 2 days, that's fine. Yeah, so underdog, everybody's going to get an extra. He got MVP, so 1 extra. And then each enemy you take out is another point of experience. So he's going to get a level up. Well, not actually level up. Technically, your level is sort of this. These are steps towards your level. As you go up at certain points, you might get skill points, or you might get increases to your offense points or movement, or something to martial, so I can pick what I want from here, or mental, and I can pick what I want. Physical, I can pick what I want from these general categories. Not quite the same as your typical Games Workshop kind of setup with move, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, attack, leadership. A little bit of additional stuff kind of thrown in.
Remarkable.
He went up a level though, so he'll get extra health, skill points, offense point. Useful points I can spend. Oh, Otwin went up too. Cool. A couple skill points. A lot of skill points I need to spend. So this is usually where kind of your overall group experience would add up, but 10's the maximum level, so nothing happening there. Items acquired. So this will be the stuff that I picked up, but then also the other items that were shown as the 5 things that I found. A bunch of formulas. So these are kind of blue runes, and it's formula, but it's kind of, there's rune slots on the blue and purple items. Unfortunately, I've only found blue runes. Purple items you can put purple runes on as well, but I haven't found any purple runes yet. So I'm kind of holding on to a lot of my purple stuff because I'm waiting to find the runes to put in it. So now I've got to pay for expenses afterwards. So medical costs, so you can kind of see this symbol right here is for medical costs. For everything else is kind of upkeep. So anyone you use on a mission, you've got to then pay for being on the mission. You can just pay everything all at once if you want going in here. So overall treatment, sure, 4 gold. And now everybody wants money too. Yeah, okay, fine. In between missions, you can also shop. All of this stuff here is actually stuff that I sold to the shop because we had an event this time where nothing came in the shop this turn. You can send off Wordstone for some extra gold. You've got your level ups and things, changing your equipment, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to mess around with that a bit and maybe look at doing some training and things as well. But that's probably going to be it for the stream today. Might do something later. I've got some other games I'm thinking about starting, just in addition to this. Maybe I'm kind of sporadically doing this game. Not every mission or scenario that I do with this I'm streaming. But if you found it interesting at all, please check out my YouTube channel, which is older streams. I've got a bunch of Blood Bowl 2 on there and some other random games that I've played. So if you're interested in that, please check that out too. That's DisturbingPuppet also on YouTube. So hopefully I will see you again next time. Thanks very much for watching this. I do appreciate it. So hopefully I will see you next time. Thanks.